Good. Whoa. Then it'll be summer. Yeah.
Sometimes summer is tricky too, though.
Keep saying is like, I think it hits you like right the older you get, where I was like, man, summer just seems to keep getting shorter and shorter when you look at the calendar.
You didn't get out that, go the first week of June, which is a lot.
Good morning. Yep, morning. So it's like you plan a couple things, couple trips, and you're like, oh, then we'll be back in school.
Actual summer, yes, I do that.
Yep.
Morning, Mr. Bill.
Morning.
Morning, Steve.
How you doing?
Good. No complaints. Beautiful day. Stay around. Oh,
3-4 in a row.
Katie.
Right, bud.
Was going through all
You're right.
the DDA board term stuff last night, and we somewhere messed up. You serve in the pleasure. Right,
Well, you
so
know.
your term doesn't expire,
Okay.
which makes more sense.
But until the board finds somebody else.
Right, and so based on the previous discussion with the board, and if you were still on board with this plan, we'll have you stay on at least until November.
Okay,
And then depending on if you remain on the board or
Okay.
if somebody else wants it, we can at that time have the discussion with
Sounds good.
the town board
perfect,
about this seat, if that works for you.
great.
Okay,
And that works whether I end up staying on or off, right?
great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because I would like to pass the torch.
Yeah, are you ready for
I
that?
want to pass the torch, I want to give the boys love. Oh, oh. I'm thinking about you a ton.
Thanks.
Good job whipping out the back deck, coffee shop. Is that yours?
That was me.
All right.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
we're getting good at it now.
Yeah,
I know,
Good at
Greg,
it.
will be on.
Yeah. it's wonderful.
I went through like
Everything's
numbers,
slightly
everything.
Updated.
Okay.
budget
Last year
from
when
what
we
it
put it
was.
up.
Oh, good idea. So you
So
can
it's
put
just
it back together like.
Yeah,
That's smart.
yeah, thank you.
Well, it used to take my dad quite a while to put it up,
Yeah.
and I always wondered why, and then I realized he never had any of it like numbered, so the pieces that he built only fit certain places, so yeah, like.
Hi, Catherine.
Remember that was like
I think he did that on purpose,
Yeah,
Built
because
in the
he
clock.
really enjoyed doing it. He was
He's like,
retired.
I'll take my time.
Yeah, it takes his time out there, with his tires,
Uh,
sun, you know, all that.
Yeah, I got some good bullshit out there with your father on the back deck.
Yeah,
You know.
not a lot.
Catherine? Well, good, good. Hey, how you doing? Morning to you. But yeah. So, I totaled my car, but I have a brand new one.
Oh,
I fell asleep at the wheel.
oh my goodness.
God, that's grace. Carried us 600 feet through the desert and landed us gently on a big pile of boulders, which really polished off the frame.
Yeah.
But I have an extra set of tires and rims.
Yeah.
You don't need to get rid of.
Yeah, so I'm gonna post them online. They were the wrong size for Sarah for a 2014 Subaru Outback,
Yeah,
which I just posted online.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I figure you can't sell anything used.
Oh, yeah. So someone would probably love to have those if they'll fit their car.
Okay,
Did you have are they the winter ones?
they are not, this is more of a summer tire.
Okay.
But I bought the extra rim so I could switch to some of the.
Yep.
winter.
Yeah, it makes it easier. God, well, that's intense.
Yeah, it was really.
That happened once.
Glad
to me.
you're
I just had a
safe.
knee and I like hit the bus bar and I was like, "Oh." I think I just nodded off a little bit.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Oh, now if I even think I'm tired, because I had started slapping myself.
Were you by yourself?
No, Dennis was
Okay.
He had fallen asleep.
Everyone was
Suddenly.
asleep.
Yeah.
But there was no screaming. He was awesome. He was really calm the whole
He's like-
time.
You can't park here.
And
Are we here already?
Yeah.
the tow
We have
truck
3
driver, when he was
hours.
looking at we came and checked it out on the pile of rocks. He said, well, if the frame's not bent, it's gonna be bent by the time I drag this car off the rocks.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Good.
I will.
What did you get?
2025 Subaru Forester.
Nice.
Yeah, I had wanted one,
Yeah.
but I decided to put another 1,000 miles on my, or
Uh-huh.
100,000 car.
Yep.
What was the last one? I actually called the dealership from the accident site while I was waiting.
Yep.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
$500
Fun to
deposit,
hold it.
and there wasn't much negotiating because, it's like, yeah, I told him. but-
Yeah.
I told him.
Did you Subaru West?
Yes,
Yeah, I figured that's where we all our parks and stuff.
they're good, they're really good, so it was a great experience.
Yeah.
So all things considered.
We're on. Okay, roll call.
Oh. 80 souls.
Bill Palmer. Parks Thompson.
Tiffany Gatesman.
Steve Fitzgerald. Nick Crab.
Greg Beckler.
Do we have a dismissal from Barry?
You already get, sorry, he sent me an email just this morning.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Can we get a approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we get an approval to for the minutes of the last meeting?
So moved.
All in favor? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we have open forum here. Do we have anything for that today? Seats are packed. Discussing impossible action. Winter Park and Fraser Chamber and Town of Fraser event and marketing updates. Catherine Ross and Sarah.
Good.
Oh, no, there's no, that's both of us. No, you're meant to start and then Claire can, take the town level, but, yeah, just invited Catherine. We wanted to let you guys know some of the different stuff that's going on, to hopefully bring folks just good directions.
These 2 pages.
Thank you. Well, thank you for inviting me, and I'll pass these out. We, the Winter Park and Fraser Chamber was requested about 5 weeks ago to get summer started sooner.
That's right.
And so, and we were asked to do, to really activate Memorial Day weekend. As far as we know, there's an anticipated opening of Trestle Bike Park and the Alpine Slide for that weekend. I emphasize the word anticipated. Sky High News chose to leave that word out when when they got the press release. So it's gonna be really warm this week. I would think we're looking at a strong possibility of that, of the resort opening. And so then we pulled together, things that were already on the calendar, as well as we are having a free concert at the Rendezvous Event Center on the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend on May 23rd. And Matt Carney and Rob Drafkin will be playing. It's a free show. If I say Matt Carney and you don't know who he is, just go on and Google him. You'll know about 8 to 10 of his songs that you just have heard a lot. So we're looking forward to hosting that. Along with that, of course, there are lots more things than what are on this poster in the press release. And so as we get informed of other activities that are happening, we add them to the page on our website. But this was what we could pull together for now, including the Fraser Bike Park opening, which we have a link to your page on our website right now so that we all are saying the same things about it. And it's been in the e-blast, it's on our calendar, all those things. But yeah, but that's what we're really, we want to let everybody know we're doing this. And then if there are any businesses that are doing something special for that weekend, because they might be, because it's Memorial Day. And traditionally, I know we don't have in this community like a big, oh, it's summer, right, for Memorial Day, but it feels like we might this year. So we just wanted to make sure that we're open, everybody's open and activated in all the downtown corridors, and that anything we can do. So if you hear of anybody who has a special, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like a giving things away, or if they're just open and they're having stop by, our deck is open, right? Anything that they want to say, they just need to send it to Maria at mchavez@playwoodandpark.com or to me, and we'll get it on that page. Because what's really important is we want everyone locally in Grand County to come down, right? Yeah, that's great. But we're really trying to get that incremental visitor to come on up here, a few weekends early and start and kickstart our businesses a little bit more than where they're at right now. So the difference, that is what the Winter Park and Fraser Chamber does, is that we're out there out there regionally trying to push people in to look at all the great marketing you have for Fraser and get to Fraser also. So I wanted to give you that, and I'm going to leave these posters. These are the posters. Summer starts sooner. Then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about really quick, the rest of it is all on the website. Yes, there's like barely a time to breathe this summer. We're activating as much as we can. We were gonna fill in the Thursday nights. We were gonna start Thursday nights early between Memorial Day and when the 18th of June. But there's too much construction in the park right now. If you haven't noticed, there's some things happening there. And so we don't want to be in their way because we really want them to be done on June 18th. So instead, so we'll be pushing the rest and pushing everything else that's happening. Another change for this summer though is that, so Revel in the Park, which was last year was the first year for that. That's a partnership with Bonfire Entertainment and the Winter Park and Fraser Chamber. So we have a bigger music producer, promoter who works with us on that. Last year we didn't have camping. So this type of festival that with the genre of music and the targeted audience that we're bringing, a lot of those people like to camp. But they don't want to like camp in the forest. They just want to bring their Sprinter van and then like all 6 of Sprinter vans that know each other, hang out and make a campsite, and they camp. I feel like I'm talking about my children when they were in high school and they went camping here at Middle Park High School. That's how I talk about these campgrounds. So we've made we've reached an agreement with Grand Park, with Colorado Adventure Park. So the campground will be there.
Sweet.
And we think that's a really good guest experience because the summer tubing will be going. They already have music planned for that Friday night. I would love for them to change that to Friday afternoon because the music in Winter Park's Friday night. But we're working with the lift to have a shuttle going back and forth. we're going to really emphasize how here you are in Fraser and that you can, right from there, hit all the trails to go mountain biking and hiking, that you don't have that, like, look at this great community that we have. You just right from here, you just go. You don't have to drive somewhere to get to a trailhead, all that good stuff. So we're excited to post them. We're hoping the campground's really successful. So that'll be a whole bunch of people that come past Safeway, I'm saying. Right, because they hear that a lot. How are you gonna get the people past Safeway? So they have to go past Safeway to get to the campground. So, and I think it's a really good partnership, to be able to work with Colorado Adventure Park, because that's a great amenity, and trying to
It
get
is.
that out in front of everybody, that it's kind of like a secret about summer tubing there and stuff. So, that's the last weekend in July, so we'll be pushing that the whole time. So, and then on September 2nd, we are in partnership with Anschutz Entertainment Group, AKA AEG. Some of you may have bought tickets from them for shows in Red Rocks. They are bringing the Beach Boys to Winter Park. The Beach Boys, there's one original Beach Boy, Mike Love, is still touring. They're on their Celebrate 250 Years of America tour, and this is their only Colorado show on that tour. So,
Wow.
but it's Wednesday, so I know you're all always telling us, everybody's always telling us, you got to do something in the middle of the week. Why don't you do that? Well, we're not taking the financial risk. AEG is, and we'll see how that works out. So, and it's a ticketed show. That one's all them, but that's kind of our goal in life, is to get more third parties, like quality third party events in that venue, so that we're not risking public dollars on those events.
We'll be packed. It's all old people and everybody's
Yes.
retired. We
They're-
don't work. We have Wednesdays off.
Well, they're rolling the dice on that, and I have to say, we have had, when they announced, many phone calls in the information center asking if there was an accessible, if there's an accessible
great.
seating area, if there was accessible parking. It was pretty funny. It was worse than Jazz Fest. So, yes. Do you have any questions about everything else? Everything else is just, I don't want to bore you with the whole website. It's full.
My only question would be, if Colorado Adventure Park is playing music,
I'm not worried about
you
it.
don't,
It's free.
yeah, but do you know who it is?
It's up to them. I would just say that I told them not to, because but they'll still have a whole parking lot for
Right.
extra guests. So they won't be camping in the parking lot. So all the regular customers can still go in there. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like Adventure Park's closed.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they're hiring a competing act. Someone.
That's
You know
right.
what?
That's a
Here's the
market.
deal, like the ticket for Revel in the Park, and the other thing is Kitchen Dwellers play Friday and Saturday night. So if somebody wants to hang out at the campsite on Friday night, the 2-day ticket is a bargain. Like,
Uh-huh.
you'd kind of be foolish not to. Or whatever time they finish music out there is probably when Kitchen Dwellers are going on
Cool.
in Winter Park. But
That's awesome.
you know what? They're not. We're all playing together.
Cool.
My job is to play together nicely with everyone.
I have a question for you, Catherine.
Yeah.
So this side of Bertha and Cindy used to host that on Facebook for local music that was happening every week.
Who? I don't
Oh,
know.
anyway, but it's not happening anymore.
I don't know. I
So-
have no idea what's.
That's okay.
It's on our website. If anybody's
Is it?
playing any music, there is a separate space for like happy hours and music at bars. There's a whole page
Okay.
of all that stuff that gets updated every week.
I just have to get in there and see it.
Yeah.
So anybody that's hosting music can contact you guys and you guys plug it in your calendar.
Yeah, and a lot of times we just
Cool.
look on the calendars and make sure that we get everybody. But they do have to tell us.
Right.
They have to be responsible for
Yeah.
that. But all that's up there. Yeah,
Awesome. This is exciting.
I'm excited. And
Summer sooner. Here we go.
starting a month and a week earlier than
Right
usual.
here. All right.
I'd like to, if we do it next year, I'd really like
Yeah.
more than 5 weeks. But we're gonna make it happen. And I will tell you right now, the chamber has full recognition that it will rain and snow on May 23rd. And we understand that that is what is going to happen, and we will be taking credit for all the precipitation.
Good.
So
Someone
when
needs-
fire danger goes down, you just give us a call and send us a text.
Sweet.
All right,
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Cool.
I'm gonna
Good
sit this
job,
with
Catherine.
Sarah, see if there's some ways we can work together even more than anybody else.
Thank you. Can you pull up the little, okay. So I kind of saw the writing on the wall a few months ago when I was able to start biking in early March. So I set up a Google ad starting March 8th, and that was the video that we had shot actually early last spring. And it looks very similar to what the conditions are now, snow-capped peaks, you know, kind of like nice flowy single track. So I started that, and so far we've had 40,000, almost 40,000 people click on that,
Wow.
and well, what is it? 371,000 impressions. And you can see where it starts to go up. I dialed it back where it drops. I dialed back the spend just a little bit just because I had to watch my budget. But I'll probably crank that up in a couple of weeks. Anecdotally, it really depends on the weather this time of year. I think people look to see what the weekend's going to be, if they want to come up here or not. Now that it's getting warmer, I think we're going to see more people. But like I have seen a bunch of people out on the trails, whether it be local or tourist or something like that. I have met people from Denver out there that are driving up too. And then also on that ad, can you go to the next page? You can see which ones, the headlines people were clicking on, the top ones, find your flow, start planning your Fraser bike trip, where Colorado comes to ride, plan your Fraser single track adventure. Low snow means early dirt, start planning your Fraser bike trip now. I used stuff like that just to get people thinking. But again, this was back in March, so I'll probably go in and tweak those headlines a little bit, saying, hey, trails are ready to ride, come on up. Also with the bike park grand opening, I think that's going to be huge for us. Now we have something centrally located. You can actually park there and then ride the bike park, go out to Rendezvous or, you know, St. Louis Creek. I think we're set up for honestly a great summer around here just because of all the biking access we do have. And then the next one is a Mountain Flyer ad. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the magazine Mountain Flyer. They're kind of a niche publication specifically for mountain bikers. It's large format. I wish I would have brought in so you could actually see what it looks like. It's more visual than what you'll see in a regular magazine. And they have kind of a cult following. So I'm going to do an ad there. I've also talked to them about doing a larger, basically 8 to 10 page article about the Fraser Valley. That's going to depend on collaboration with Granby Ranch actually and Grand County Tourism Board. I'm asking them for some money because it's kind of pricey. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to do an ad with them and see how it goes. And then the next one is just an update on the bike park grand opening. We have a Facebook event, the Sky High full page ad that will be next week, Friday, I think. And then I'm also going to do another Google ad with them. It'll probably just be a display ad with some pictures of the pump track and hey, come up to Fraser, hang out. We've got bike park opening and all kinds of trails to ride.
Sweet.
I like the idea of more active promotion to try and build a stronger reputation. Fruta did that
Yeah.
about a decade ago, and
Mhm.
it's paid off.
Right. And like personally, like I think we have some of the best mountain biking
100%.
in Colorado. So, and like I said, the bike park's just a huge add to that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think we're gonna do good this summer just because of all the trails and we could start riding right now. If anybody hasn't, the trails are in great condition.
Been for weeks.
Yes, months,
Yeah.
literally months. That's it. Any questions?
Good work.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Before you guys move on, is it okay if I just say one thing about Sarah?
Please do.
Please.
So there you have it.
I just wanted to let you all know that part of like looking at everything and looking at everybody's websites and ways to collaborate. We have asked, I haven't gotten past you personally, but if you haven't been on the part of the website, the flow part of the Fraser website, there's lots of great videos and maps and if we were embarking upon that ourselves to update ours, and we preach do not duplicate. And so we're not going to do we're not going to duplicate. We've asked for permission, which to link to the Fraser website, which should help drive some traffic to the Fraser website.
Yeah.
And Steve, just so you know, 30 years ago, I trademarked Mountain Bike Capital USA.
There you go.
So I just
You got
want
a
you to know.
trademark to use.
I just want you to know, like, it's
Yeah.
not, it's just that at this point in time, there's just so much biking that our budget can only go so far. So we're kind of, because we're out of the region, we go more for like the active vacationer, which is great. You guys are zoning in on mountain biking again, because then we don't have to do it. Again, we don't want to duplicate. So you're doing a great job. Sarah's doing a great job. So we just link over to her stuff, and that's.
It may be your fault that I'm here because in the early 90s, I first came to this valley for a mountain bike race, the King of the Rockies
King of the
race.
Rockies, I'm sure
Here
you're
you
King of
Yeah.
the Rockies there, and
Yeah,
here you
and I
are.
learned real quickly that flatlanders who don't train at altitude get their ass kicked.
I'll move to altitude.
Yep.
But we had patrol out. Thank you, everybody, and thank you.
Before you go, Catherine,
Yes.
sorry, I did want to mention, Abby is actually online as well. I think,
Oh.
she got on the Zoom portion post a roll call, but she's got a few questions and her hand up. Go ahead, Abby.
Sorry, I'm in a car with the kids, so brace yourself. What is the expected head count for Rebel in the Park, Catherine?
For Revel in the Park, we're thinking 3,000 a day.
Whoa. Okay.
But we had almost 2,000 last year, so I don't feel like I feel like that's a realistic guesstimate.
What is capacity for something like that?
5,000 if we're sitting
Five.
down, 10,000 if it's big, gigantic. And I can say that with full confidence. 10,000 with some room at the top if you didn't want to be close to your friends. Go ahead.
That's
Em.
great. That was it. 3,000 is awesome. So awesome. Good work.
And
Thank
it's
you.
a long ways, Abby, it's a long ways away. So like looking at
See
ticket
what the
sales
weather
now,
does.
that's a guesstimate for sure. That's that's what our budget is built of. So
For sure. Well, I mean, we strategized with our trail rides. We were going to move the horses and use them for something else, but we're like keeping them in town for certain weekends.
Oh,
Based on your communication last year with Revel in the Park being more country focused, it doesn't matter. But I think a couple other companies were asking me questions about what the expected headcount was.
and Abby, if you can send that to us, like a little write-up about trail rides, we'll include it in the ancillary activities for Revel in the Park. So we are
for
gonna
sure.
host some yoga here, like we did last summer, and then at the campground, and then we're gonna come talk to you ladies about doing a bike park,
Oh, great.
like doing a bike park clinic,
Okay.
and we'll have a skate clinic at Hideaway Park. So we're just trying to think of other activities people can do, but we learned last year not to make them too
Right.
strict, formal,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
everyone's camping. So, okay.
Yeah, great work, you
The late
guys.
night
Thank
show.
you.
All right.
Is the other events that you guys did, like the guided hikes and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
they
you
did
guys-
not work.
They did, okay.
So we're not.
You were kind of implying that. I just wanted to
Yeah, we're not
clarify.
doing any of that. Those things, they just no one, you have to sign up, you have to sign a liability. Winter Park Resort is offering a new promotion this year. If you come to any ticketed event, you bring your ticket up to the resort and you can get a gondola ticket for half price.
Okay.
Nice. So, but yeah, all the guided hikes and stuff, nothing. Although yoga works. So you see, yoga worked really well. And it was a lot of local people who just like kind of wanted to come on your grass.
Uh-huh.
And it was great.
Yeah.
And it was great fun. And so it is great grass. And so, yeah, so because we didn't have any at Rendezvous, so.
Do you think the hikes were due to the demographic?
Because they,
this is-
they hike on their own.
Yeah.
These are independent people that don't, they don't, they know
Mhm.
how to, they bike on their own, they hike on their own. We just have to give them right info. We plan on making a big map, chloroplast map for the campground
Cool.
that shows where you can hit the trails and where they go to. So with a QR code, so people know how to like find all those rides that are on the, so for people who don't know their way around, they can just get the info right there if they're camping, and then we'll have one at the venue also.
Great.
Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Have a good one.
Keep
You
up the
too.
good work.
We'll see a couple of you later.
Uh,
Well, tomorrow, but today, isn't it? Marketing meeting, no, just plein air. When is that? Tomorrow? Plein air.
Not me.
Oh, okay. Something about
Must be the
marketing meeting.
team.
Maybe it's just kids today. Yeah, right, okay. We're elaborate. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
So DDA board seats right now. That's the next discussion. I think Katie's seat is open.
Yeah, so actually a couple of clarifications. We somehow got information wrong on our website. So Katie actually serves at the pleasure of the Town of Fraser Board of Trustees. And we spoke with them earlier about her seat and with Katie and the. Oh, that's okay. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. So the plan is, given that we have 4 Board of Trustees seats open this November, including Katie's, the board wanted to wait until November, and then see who joins the board and decide if Katie is still on the board and wants to continue, or if they want to appoint somebody else.
Is that both Katie's and then who else from the board is their seats are open?
So,
Stevie, Katie,
And
Lewis,
Lewis,
Adam.
Adam. Got it.
Yeah. So
so
exciting
we'll be
time.
looking for some new blood to serve on our board.
Uh-huh.
Trick is they gotta live within the town of Fraser,
I know.
primary residence. That's the hard.
Some old blood is also appreciated.
Yeah,
Just
that's very nice.
throwing that out there.
Or have business.
Yeah, well.
Well, no. So right now
Not
we're
for town
talking about
board.
board of
Or town
trustees.
Yeah, Fraser Town
Yeah,
Board, you have to live.
Yeah.
Primary residence.
So Katie's seat is out of the equation. Nick's seat is up this June, as well as Steve's, and that we also had incorrect on our website. So those 2 seats, they are both welcome to apply again, as Bill and Tiffany did. But we have those 2 seats open, and then potentially we had started with an 11-member board. We're now at a 9-member board. We could go up to 11 again. Again, I think that is a really large board. But throwing that out there, so you
Yeah.
could potentially have 4 new board members, or you could have 0 new board members if Steve and Nick wanted to continue and they were the selected applicants. That said, I encourage you guys to help spread the word. Applications are now open. They can get to that application, and I can send this out to you guys in an email through our webpage. Both, if you just go to the search, I think the easiest way to navigate is just to put in DDA, and it'll pull up the DDA page, and at the top, there's a link to apply. We're going to keep applications open through June 1st. So it's about 3 weeks. We'll push it out on social media. Today, I wanted to just check in with you guys to make sure you didn't want to change anything. I'll have KFFR push something out, and we'll have it on our website. We can also send something out to like local businesses. We have emails for those. But I think word of mouth is a great way to encourage folks that you think may be interested and may be a good fit to apply. As a reminder of how the process works, they are actually appointed by the Town of Fraser Board of Trustees, not this board. So those applications will go to the board, I believe, at their June 17th meeting, so that our next DDA meeting, which would be in July, we would have those new board members there to step in.
Are you guys thinking about reapplying?
I didn't know my term was expiring until about an hour ago.
Yeah, so
So does that mean if they did reapply that they're they'd only be on for another year? Or?
No, they'd be
No.
4 years.
They'd have 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, to stagger the
figured
board so
that-
you don't have everyone's terms ending at the same time.
Yeah.
When we formed the initial board,
Got it.
we had 2 seats expiring every year. Once we get through those every years, then everybody, when you apply, it's for 4 years.
Yeah, right. Got it. That
Yep.
makes sense. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yep. Any questions?
Does that mean that we're having a meeting next month then, for sure, for the vote, or?
No, because it's the Board of Trustees.
Oh, that's-
So I was gonna say, we did previously, I mean, the DDA board can definitely weigh in and provide a recommendation to the Board of Trustees. So I don't know if we wanted that to be Perks and Tiffany or 2 other members, but if there's 2 members that if we wanted to form kind of a subcommittee to provide a recommendation to the Board of Trustees, once we get those applications, we could do that. If we wanted to hold a special meeting for that purpose in June, we could do that. It'd have to be that first week of June. Originally, again, when we got applications, we got a ton of applications. And they just all went to the Board of Trustees. And then when we've reopened it, or when we've had seats up this last round, we just had Bill and Tiffany apply. So that made it easy. So I really don't know what to expect, but I don't know that we need to have a meeting, but you guys can definitely weigh in if you wanted to provide a recommendation to the board.
Well, I think those also people, the word really didn't get out for that reapplication much.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we pushed it out the same way we pushed out the initial round.
Yeah, we also had like multiple, like I was contacted directly by multiple board members asking me to apply. And then they asked me to contact people, so I did, and I know those people contacted people. So
Yep.
it really is word of mouth.
Yeah,
And so if you do have someone that you think is going to be cohesive, or if you want to stir the pot, whatever,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to tell people, I think. Because it really is like an urgency thing. Like when I contacted 10 people, they all applied, every one of them. Because I was like, this is gonna be really important for the town. It's not a huge time commitment in comparison to other boards. It's not as serious as you think. It's more fun, whatever. All those words get people to apply. You're like, yeah, these meetings are super boring and, we don't get anything done and we don't have much money to spend. That's not going to get people on the board.
yep, definitely agree. So help spread the word. Any questions, other comments? Great. All right then.
Railroad sign update. Do we have those signs here?
We do not. So this is pretty quick. But the signs are completed. Parks say they look great.
They look good, yeah.
We're kind of at the mercy of Amtrak right now.
Oh, geez,
Um,
never get up.
Yeah, they had hoped to be here kind of now working on their platform improvements, but once they are here, they will hang the signs. We did push back on that $1,000 licensing fee and it is now 0. So, and we are continuing just as a general Amtrak updates, conversations with Amtrak and CDOT to kind of work through funding and get started on some ADA improvements and just some basic kind of structural changes for that building so that we can get that open as a new station, which I think will open up some great opportunities. And then we do, as I've mentioned previously, have some funding with CDOT. It turns out there's more restrictions on that than originally anticipated, but we can at least start kind of some conceptual designs, community engagement around looking at that larger lot and space because we don't need that whole building for a waiting area in terms of looking at what that will look like. So when that engagement process starts, I will definitely let you all know. I think it'd be great to have kind of the DDA weigh in, but I think there's just a lot of exciting potential kind of opportunities around that station development as Mountain Rail picks up. And we hopefully continue to see more people coming up here via both bus and train.
I did talk to the sign shop while I was there and looking at the signs. And I just kind of asked, what happens if the sun beats down on them super hard and in 3 years one of the signs is, trashed. And they said that was super simple for them to go up and peel it down
Okay.
and put another one up or redo the sign for very little money, like
Okay.
120 or $200 for a reprint. So, because they would already have the real piece cut, so that would be the big issue. They just pull it down, strip it, and put another one on. So just so that if something does, like our harsh environment up here does something, they're sort of guaranteeing that.
Great. Yeah, that's good to know.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for hooking us up with that, Perks.
Oh, no problem. Those guys are awesome. I would recommend that when they offer to bring them here and put them here, you take that or try to get that done because sometimes you'll call those guys and the resort will then put them on projects and they have 900 signs to put up.
Sign shop.
Correct.
Yeah, keep on them.
Yeah, and
Just-
I
just ask him
emailed
to
him
come
the
and
other
order.
day
Yeah.
to say that, yeah, if he could bring them over here when
Okay,
it's convenient.
good.
I don't know that there's an immediate rush, but
Yeah.
if they're here, then it's easy for our guys to get them to the
100%.
platform.
Because if Amtrak is like, we're coming next week, it could take them a week or two just to bring the signs over here.
Great.
We
to
can
know, yeah.
always go get them ourselves, right?
Okay.
Like we can always shoot up there. They're laying there. They're ready for us.
Yep.
Any Fraser Town worker, or I could go do it. Just
That'd be great.
it is better if they're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big. They're like here to the end of the table. 90 something inches, 92 inches, I think.
I can always pick it up too.
Yeah, if you have a truck bed,
Yeah.
it's easy. Yeah, Cool.
Okay. Cool.
perfect.
Great.
That's it. Come
Yep.
up conference update. We had a really good turnout at the last one. And we did some new things. I think the moderation was good this time, having the panelists that we did, and then just some moderation. Greg, how did you feel about that? He was on the panel, so
Yeah, I thought it went well. I think it took a very organic, like question asking and response turn, which people seemed to get a lot of value out of it and ask questions that were pertinent to them. So I thought it went well.
sweet. I did end up asking some of the people that texted me and said how was a positive response for testimonials. And so we got 3 business owners or co-owners to do testimonials with their picture. And we made a post and that looked really professional. So professional that the chamber reached out and wanted a private meeting. So I went up there and talked to them. They said they really want to be involved. They were like, we don't want to take this event. We don't want to be in the forefront, but any resources you need,
Nice.
anything, we're happy to use our staff for it. We really want to get involved with this because they said they could have thrown that event and no one would show up. So they were really happy that we did it.
That's great.
So DDA, Callie, good job.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
they-
it's squarely in their mission, right? Helping drive business, intellect, and activity. And
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think, for the last one that we did with real estate being a touchy subject, right? It really kind of opened up people's minds that you can start getting involved whether you're ready to buy or not. And that things aren't as far out as you think they are. Like a lot of the real estate agents have said, they've seen people come to the table with $1,000 at closing. Like, you can get into a house if you want. So I thought it was really good. For the next
you.
one, it's marketing and branding. Sarah is out of town, I think I've heard. So we aren't going to have Sarah Wick, which is
Kind of sad.
unfortunate
Yeah.
because I would really like to have her on the panel. I volunteered my wife for it because she's done so much branding for Rocky Mountain Roastery previously and then Grand County Roastery now. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't like talking to people and on a panel. She's like, I really want to be there I like asking questions and being in the field, but I don't want to be on a panel. So that's tough. So we kind of have,
Do you want to switch the topic up between this
Well,
one and the next one?
we could
Or
switch
is it
the
already
topic.
published?
just off the top of my head, I know 2 or 3 people who are accomplished marketers. One was a CMO for multiple companies. I'd be happy to reach out to them.
So the one thing that when I was talking to the chamber, right, is what brings people to this event. and as of now at least, is that this is somebody that you know
Right, it's
talking to
word-
you.
And it's word of mouth.
Because we started going up the line like that, because I was like, what if we go to Altera, right? And I bring in some of these guys, and they're like, yeah, that's a little. I think that the business model that we have right now is really good. Now down the line, if we can get all these people to continue to come, then it would, I think, be helpful to bring in a CMO and a.
Be bad to have somebody, one of those people, I mean, and the other
Yeah,
few that.
true. Yep,
People
have
that
someone that's.
I
really
thought maybe
accomplished.
Carl Frey with the resort, just because he's worked his way up and he started with owning a bar in town, you know? So a lot of people know him. But that was the highest that we went. So we could keep it at marketing and branding and just kind of reach out to other people, or we could switch topics. And if Sarah Wick does want to be involved, I do think that we should switch topics, because it would be good for the town of Fraser to plug itself
Right,
into this event in multiple ways.
yeah,
That's right. So maybe we switch it up.
yeah, see if you can get Sarah to, she
Yeah.
would commit to the next one.
So I'd say let's just put a big question mark by the conference right now, and we'll look. Yeah, we'll look at different topics and see if there's one that hits.
Does anybody have ideas for future topics?
I mean,
Just make note of. I mean,
So the real estate one last month seemed to be very heavy on residential. I feel for the come up conference, since it is business, is to have another real estate one that is just commercial real estate.
so that is a good topic, and I think we should revisit real estate. I do think having a little breakup in between is
Totally.
good. And there was a lot of people from both conferences that reached out to me directly, probably at least 15 for each. Said I really wanted to be there, couldn't make it. So revisiting topics is a really great idea, and adding something like, okay, this time it's going to be more heavily focused on commercial real estate versus, yeah, residential would be good.
One idea I've seen when I've kind of been at some of the different conferences and just looking around, that I think retail, as we all know, is getting trickier and trickier, right? Like everything's cheaper on Amazon. So how do you incentivize people into the brick and mortar? And the kind of I'm blanking on the word now. Is it experiential retail? But things that kind of like, I think Simple Coffee's done a great job with this, though I recognize it's also a lot of work of kind of marketing different events and happenings and things like that. I mean, I'm guessing you're busier on a trivia night than a regular night. I'm looking at Nick for the record. But just things like that. So I don't know if something around kind of activating, bringing people into businesses might make sense.
There's also I think one of the big topics in the outline is mindset and personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't touched at all on that. And there's a lot of specialists around here on that. So that could be kind of cool. Just doing some of that maybe.
I think that's super important also, to let a lot of the younger generation know that it's shitty owning a business and that people struggle. That's not that. It's reality and it's okay, but there's support. I think that's really big.
Yeah, and you can develop a really great brand, and guess what? Someone comes in and has a bad experience because of an employee that you hired had a bad day. And that can really, really mess things up for a while, or rumors or whatever could spread. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great topic.
Get rated on Google, and one person gives you a 1,
Oh yeah,
and everybody else gives you 4s and 5s,
And
brings
it-
you down to 3.
and that really matters when you only have 50 reviews or 25 reviews, and it takes a long time to get hundreds of reviews. It does.
People
takes a long
don't
time.
have good
In 8 years,
reviews.
like 100.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%. So if one person comes in and has a bad day
Yeah.
because someone delayed their beer to them.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, So yeah,
I
let's.
feel like
uh,
a conference about like tech stacking too, AI, that's pretty current right now. Does that make sense?
No,
yeah,
Tech stacking, like different softwares with AI. It's a pretty wild world for even my smaller business.
about
Um,
what was it,
so
10 years ago when they started their first AI controlled software that would do all of your posts for you. All you'd have to do is upload 20 photos and then it would make context and put them out. I think it was,
man, I didn't hear about that one. But on the same note, Wheatley Creek is a great company that has been involved with that. That could be one of your marketing people. Um, I'm spacing Casey, Casey. And they're both locals. And Erin went to high school with her husband, but that's a good marketing media connection if you need somebody, if you're going to stick with that subject for next month. And I was going to say, I think June and July is a wild time period to go into like mindset stuff, just as like a coach with that. I feel like sometimes it's easier for people to absorb that information when the sun isn't as bright, if that makes sense.
I agree. 'Cause
Um,
who wants to be inside in the
yeah.
summer here?
Yeah. And like it's the time when people are able to like activate their endorphins a little bit more easily. Even though this winter was rough and I think people didn't have the adventure category with the snow, they weren't able to activate their endorphins, their adrenal glands. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on that stuff.
I agree. And it's just so busy. Our lives are so busy. And once July happens, July, August, it's like,
Yeah. October, November are really big months for
so the subject
mindset.
needs to be less deep is what
Well,
you're saying.
or wait until maybe even wait. I
Oh,
don't know
just
which one
don't
you
have a
want.
conference. Switch.
That's
Well,
No,
if
no,
we don't,
We
just
have to meet.
you want to keep going.
I think
'Cause
if
have
we
to
had,
meet monthly, right?
I think that you got to keep consistency, right?
Okay.
I mean, if you want any success of any business or event, it has to be consistent.
Okay.
So it has to
Makes
go.
sense.
But it does mean that it could be more fun and more networking based.
Summary theme, yeah.
We could do for everybody that's come back and network. Then you're kind of
yeah.
getting those chamber mixer things.
Oh yeah, definitely don't skip a month, but more so just saying that if you do a mindset, like personal growth thing, like closer to late fall is when people are hungry for that subject matter.
Okay.
And yeah, and then right now, what I'm noticing in some of these economic, I went to one of the classes, that Patrick Brower and Diane are putting on. They're talking about like, what can we do right now as a small business or bigger business with the lack of revenue from the winter, and that we're a bubble. So like talking about like special economy type tools to like how do you save money, how do you forecast, stuff like that is what the state is doing.
Yeah, I mean,
Those are the subject.
I get that. Definitely before crunch time happens, like before I have lines out the door, I like to get my mind right though. And I think, it's right about when it's happening and people go, oh no, it's all back. Like having a positive approach and a positive mindset going into these major busy seasons is definitely is helpful. So I don't know if it would be more geared around that, but
Being prepared.
yeah, if you're like, oh my gosh, these crowds are coming and you're going into it with that mindset, like you're you're quitting your job. That's what it is. But I totally agree with certain levels of that. I do think that if you're gonna have tens of thousands of people flooding into the valley, you should be mentally prepared for that.
That's gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Please come.
Yeah, I think the
For May, when they're not here, and then when they come, it's good, because we need them here. People
Yeah,
here.
I just
Yeah.
watch,
Spend the
I
money
just
and-
watch service go to absolute crap around here once there's lines out the door.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's really great right now. You walk into a restaurant, they're happy to see you. You get to talk to them. They're like, "Oh, my locals, my friends.
Yeah.
So good to see you. Yeah, let me make your latte. Let me make you a burger. What do you want on it?" You know,
Huh?
when they come, they're like, "What do you want? Get out of here." Like, let me just. It's
Yeah.
clearly turn seats all the time.
Mhm.
And it like is cool usually through June for a part, but like once July hits, it's over. Service is gone. It's just pump them through, get them out, and like having that mind, like having your mind prepped for that, it goes a lot smoother.
Ooh, maybe like not a mindset conference, but just customer service.
Yeah, just an
Conference for June.
experience. Yeah, like customer
So, like,
experience or something.
Find like a good server that everyone loves, and like a good retail manager or something like that, and have them talk about like this is how you treat customers and everything like that. That could be cool for
And
Yeah,
I-
maybe less entrepreneur, more like prepping
Customer
for what,
service.
yeah, the job you're in.
Yeah.
And how staff, supervisors and staff and community
Mm-hmm.
can support those workers,
Managing, yeah.
you know, to help build them up through those hard times. I think that's a big thing. Like, don't feel like they're in this isolated, horrible bubble. You know, it's like, we all appreciate them. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think Abby had something in the chat.
Yeah, I was just saying what Sarah was going off of is like what I see everybody doing, where they're, doing like a multi-level experience in their storefront. And I think it would be cool to see who is successful and why. I think Stoked Coffee, I'd like to hear him talk, Andras, about some of the things he has on the horizon. I don't think he's shared much of it, but he's worked really well with his like in-store experience, where it's not like it's not a pop-up or it's not a special event. He just has a corner in the market. And where he's created multiple revenue streams. Same with you Parks, where you've ventured into the roasting. But I think the multi levels of revenue stream that some of the businesses are doing that help them leverage economic changes and climate changes is would probably be pretty interesting. That's all I got. Sorry.
Cool. Does anybody else have anything for the come up conference series, or any ideas, or should we
That's some good stuff.
move?
For a future thing, I don't know if we've done anything like finances, like where to like procure capital, or like, because that's usually the barrier that most people face, is like they don't have the money to do it, but there's resources available that people probably don't know about. Like, I didn't know I could ask for tax exemptions when I opened up, and I was like, that would have really helped had I known that. And like other financial um resources, I guess, that would just help. Patrick Brower would be a good person to have there.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But like, that's usually like the barrier that people have when they're trying to open a business, and that would probably be important one to have. I don't know,
Okay.
later on.
Yes, so I do have financial on here, and I wanted to bring in Megan Ladine as a CPA and Grant Foundation, just because she has so many resources for people. But there would be 3 other seats open, or 2 other seats available.
Yeah, I do think Brower is a really good one. Good
Yeah.
suggestion by Nick, because he helps people get access to capital all the time.
Okay.
I know of a person that helped me out a couple times too. I can ask her. She's like pretty personable and usually pretty available. So
Okay.
I can ask her as well.
And Nick, so I think you're
That'd
referencing kind of some of the different economic incentives that the town has offered at different times in terms of the tax. They're not tax exemptions, but they're
Oh,
tax,
yeah.
basically rebates or credits. And those were available for a set time and then they were brought back. So you may have kind of
In that bad way.
missed the window. I was not here when your business
No, no,
started, but,
yeah.
but I just wanted to say if it would be helpful to have, somebody talk about incentives that are available through the town or the DDA, would be people kind of building,
Are
within
you
the,
volunteering?
I could just do
Because
a
I
quick
feel like
deal
you would
there.
be pretty good at it.
Then
That
we
would-
have the CPA, we have Patrick Brower, possibly we have Anita from me, and then a town member. That'd be a good like rounding,
I feel like that would be pretty informational.
yeah, so.
Sounds awesome.
I mean, maybe we should go down that line,
Yeah.
see if people are in town for
Yeah, see who's available.
June. All right, let's.
Instead of branding and marketing.
Oh, it's the second week of June.
Yeah,
I'm
You're not-
gone that week.
yeah. Everybody probably is.
I know, because I was like,
The
oh, I
last
won't
row.
miss the DDA board meeting because there's not one, but I will miss whatever.
Planned it around this. All right.
We could do it for the next one after that, though. Should it be August or?
Sure. Yeah, because I do think maybe the marketing and branding is going to be real popular, and maybe that should be pushed into like the when people are here,
Sure.
That's a
like
good
in
idea.
the October range, September range, like anywhere in there
Yeah.
is going to be a good time because people are going to say, all right, now I have time to actually develop marketing and branding going on.
Yeah, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the attendance will probably be a little short in the summer months.
Yep.
Yeah. June's going to be tough. I feel like it's going to have to be interactive in some way, less panelized.
Maybe a evening at a brewery with a patio?
Could be good.
Prohibitions.
Mm-hmm.
Highway. Yeah.
Mhm. Let's think on it. We'll get some emails and stuff going. I don't think it needs to be right now that we come up with it. Let's move on to the budget, I think. Budget update.
Wanted to apologize. I actually changed your file. I meant to make a copy and then change that one, but I changed your file a little bit. I just added on to it for the budget.
Okay, I don't know, but you have that file.
Yeah, you sent it to me here.
Okay, so whatever version I have, I don't have your version
Okay.
because I don't think it was like a shared document, right?
Thought it was, maybe it's not.
Maybe.
Maybe I did make a copy of that. Never mind.
Oh, I might have. Okay. Well, are your changes on the version that I just passed out?
No.
No. Okay. All right. We'll talk about that offline then. So I did pass out a slightly updated version from what's in the packet. And largely, I just wanted to provide you kind of what we've spent money on and where we are at to inform our next conversation about the sidewalk project. So we've spent some money this year versus last year, which I think is good. To let you know kind of what's going into these different categories. And Greg and Abby, I did email out the version that is printed here, which maybe has Nick's updates, but so that you have access to that. But so we have spent a little over 5,000 on community outreach. And that category kind of includes the Come Up conference stuff. So just a little bit of money at the roastery to provide some coffee and treats for those. Rotate Media, which was the video for the ski ride save, and then those Google ads. So that's what's going into that bucket of expenses there. District enhancements includes the ski signs, which not the ski signs, they're done by the ski shop, the rail station signs. So those came in about 1,400 when it was all said and done, so well under budget. And then the design for the sidewalk was supposed to be a little over 5,000. It was like 5,280, I believe. That came in a bit cheaper. So that was $4,679 for the design. So that is what is currently in there for district enhancements. We do have to pay treasurer's fee to the county treasurer for collecting our tax increment and distributing it to us. Professional services includes the DCI membership,
And then there's just kind of an estimate of, for Troy, because we haven't gotten an invoice from him for this year, but he was doing some work on, just kind of looking over the Fraser Valley Arts proposal, and just weighing in on a couple different things there. Travels, meals, and lodging would be for the hotel stay for the DCI conference that Tiffany attended. We did get a free conference event from our membership. But that is pretty much the money we have spent. The money that's come in from the tax revenues, that just shows where we're at this point in time. So we do still expect that we should end up around that 42,000 for tax increment for the year. Any questions about any of that?
So right now, how much money do we have to spend?
So in terms of what is in the bank,
Yeah, what's in the bank?
we have about 39,000 in
Okay.
terms of revenues over expenditures.
Okay. That's
That's
what's in the bank.
Before the sidewalk happened,
Correct. Yep.
so 20 of that's gone.
Well, we'll
See,
You'll
that's
see.
our
jump
next
to the
decision.
sidewalk and yeah, we can talk about that, what
Got
that
it.
looks like. I mean, a lot of that money is because we rolled over most of our funds from last year. So we had that unassigned fund balance of 36,143. And then again, we should have more tax increment coming in throughout the year.
Okay,
So that's spread out throughout the year?
cool.
If they pay quarterly?
There's
Yeah.
kind of different times when people tend to pay. But yes, it is spread out.
Okay.
Cool. Any questions? Any more of the questions there? No? Resolution 2026-051. Approving North Fraser Ave sidewalk construction.
So the design came in a bit cheaper. The change order that would include the project came in more expensive than we were hoping. So it did come in at a total of 34,189. A lot of that expense does have to do with the complications around drainage right there, which was part of the reason the town hadn't originally included that stretch of sidewalk, as well as not having the full space. And as we've discussed before, the full space in terms of we'd have to purchase some property for an easement from the property that the sidewalk runs adjacent to. And then as discussed before with the Fraser Valley Arts Center going in that construction, knowing that some of that sidewalk might get torn up, which unfortunately is kind of true for all of the sidewalks we're putting in along Clayton Court, with just trying to get sidewalks in now for existing residences and businesses versus waiting for the full build out. So that's just one of kind of the complications and balancing acts that has to happen. It's not completely ideal, but we don't want to wait 10 years to put sidewalks in.
So largely, we were gonna do this because there was a business down there, Moose and Merchant, which is now not going to be there, correct?
We need an
And
update,
now
Greg.
Jolly Bear is going to be there. Is there a different?
Greg would know.
We gotta-
Moose and Merchants not terminated their contract. We've started talking to other groups because, you know, they've been they haven't been closing when they're supposed to be, and have voiced that they may not have the funds to open that business as planned due to delays with that street getting in and having to open kind of after the summer with the current timeline from the town. So it's kind of an abandoned asset right now. We do have a backup plan with another group that isn't quite a bakery, but more of a ice cream, baked goods kind of establishment that I think would go well with the street. So we do have a good backup plan, but right now Moose and Merchants, they're refusing to close until that street's done. And not a lot of confidence from whoever's managing that project on the town side to get that done, that it is going to get done. So I think my thoughts as it comes to this sidewalk is I agree, it was to get there. So if there's a business there, they have pedestrian access to their site. It sounds like the town was not able to get the land from the Alves property. So if there's going to be a $34,000 change order to add this sidewalk, there should be a deductive change order that more than covers this, that I think the town should, then cover this sidewalk from. But yeah, I don't think there's as big of a rush. I don't see the town meeting its obligations to get this street in this summer. So I think the priority on this has kind of gone away. It's unfortunate, but that's probably going to
Yeah,
sit
that's what
vacant for another year.
Greg, do you think we should push this and shoulder this for next year?
I mean, yeah, I don't see a business going in there, to be honest. I think if there is a business going in there, they're not opening this summer. No one's going to open without that road in, and the town put a date out at the end of September. So
And even
yeah.
if they
Okay.
could, it would be a major push for them to do the build out in there. I've talked to the guys that may want to purchase that space,
Yeah.
and they have another business they're trying to build out already.
Yeah.
And they have other ones in their mind. They're trying to do 5 in 1 year. So I can't imagine that they would get that done, even if they did say move out Moose and Merchant and close. I think that it would be a struggle for them to open.
Yeah, because they've got all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, my only concern would be not having any pedestrian access. If we got the southern side of the street done as planned with the sidewalk around the Alves property, then something could open there. It's going to be an abandoned asset for me at this point. And there's probably going to be some, litigation at some point. So I don't really want to involve myself too much in it, but not having a means of access for whoever wants to open a business there. If we push it, then I can't sell that business. No one's going to be able to get a loan for opening that business without adequate access. You're saying I'm going to open a bakery or whatever, and people don't have a means of getting to my store. So I think not having anything will be a problem for someone trying to buy that business, unfortunately. That being said, I don't think the DDA should come out of pocket to provide that pedestrian access just because the town was unable to do what they needed to do to get the easements on the other side of the street to provide access to the whole street. I think there should be a big deductive change order on the town's contract with phases, and they should provide access to the developments that they've approved on that street, this being one of them.
So
Thank you
where,
so
my
much
opinion.
for being honest, Greg. I really appreciate your input on that. That's huge.
yeah, so where the town is at, as I understand it, is we are reburying some power lines that got put in and were not put in deep enough in that stretch.
Oh,
So the
geez.
utilities are being finished, and now or in the next couple weeks, and then they expect to start the work on the streetscape and the sidewalks. Once that is done, it should be within the next month is kind of the current estimate. They are meeting on site with Mr. Alvarez, I believe, May 22nd. And he just property owner hasn't been very forthcoming with where they're at until they meet on site. The town's trying to work out different arrangements to get his sign off so that we can complete all the sidewalks at once. But if that doesn't happen, we will complete the sidewalks that we can, which again is not ideal, but in terms of trying to get the sidewalks in. So I'm still cautiously optimistic they'll be able to do the full sidewalks. That don't include this stretch, but that include the other stretches. But that is to be determined based on negotiations with the property owner.
I would say based on that, Sarah, that we should table the northern sidewalk. And what I would think should happen is the town goes forward in earnest with Lafayette regarding the land, the easement for the sidewalk and the right of way acquisition. If he provides that, then there will be a sidewalk on the southern side of the property. There'll be an extension from the 8-foot sidewalks around Kosalig. and there'll be a crosswalk from that sidewalk around his property to, you know, whatever business should go in at that bakery spot. So there will be means of access if he provides that right of way after that meeting. So I think without having a business, you know, begging to open like we did a few months ago, that makes most sense to me. And then if the town does not come to an agreement with Lafayette around his, you know, providing that land for the sidewalk, then the town could look at removing that scope from their contract with Phases and adding the sidewalk to the north, or, you know, another means of providing pedestrian access to the street they're putting in from the north. You know, whether that be changing it, putting in a sidewalk on the north, or changing it to a one-way. I don't know what they want to do at that point, but hopefully, you know, he plays ball and the town's able to give him something that he sees as equal value.
So do we need to make a movement then to table this till further discussion, or just?
We can table it.
What, can I just chime in? Just, I wanted to make sure I heard Greg clearly. Does Greg need assistance in finding a possible person to purchase what was going to be moved to merchant, or is that just tabled until road stuff is solidified?
Yeah,
Because
I haven't formally terminated anything with them. There's kind of just too much unknown for them to feel comfortable closing and to get a bank, you know, to lend on it without the road in for sure.
Okay.
So I have a contingency plan with another group. If you know another group that would be interested in the building, I'm happy to talk to them.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, I'm not kicking Moose and Merchant out by any means, but as soon as I have
It's just like,
real dates from the town and they have something real to work off of, they can decide. And then if they're out, we'll work on a backup plan.
okay. All right. Thanks, Greg.
Yep.
And my understanding, unfortunately, Paul is in a meeting right now who's kind of overseeing this project. My understanding is the town was not looking to fund this portion of sidewalk. Ultimately, if we end up at an impasse with Lafayette, maybe that's something that could be revisited. I think the town is hoping that that doesn't happen, and ultimately there is a process of the condemnation process. If it comes to that, that just takes a lot longer, and really I don't think is desired by anybody. So I mean, the town is definitely trying to play ball. We're just not getting much back at all from the property owner right now. I talked with him once. Paul's been talking with him. Michael Brack, our town manager's been talking with him. I don't think he's opposed to a sidewalk going in. We're just not on the same timeline, unfortunately.
One question too, on that design of the sidewalk, did the elevation for that kind of curb and gutter change with a sidewalk in versus the previous design without it in? Because my thought is if that sidewalk is eventually desired to be there, and it wasn't contemplated as being there in the initial design, that removing this design change and not funding it may make the road that's going to be constructed without the sidewalk not need to be substantially changed in order to provide that sidewalk in the future. Do you get what I'm saying? So that may be like an argument for continuing to try to proceed with the sidewalk, but I think like
Right.
from a DDA perspective, it's a huge portion of our budget. It's no longer to fast track a business opening there. So I think it makes sense for us to table it, but
It was the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, 100%.
Roll into it,
yeah.
like wait 2 months and see.
Now, this might be something you can't answer and don't if it's confidential, but what's the price of someone buying that space?
That space, I mean, it would be probably roughly $400,000 to $435,000.
And that's just for the space without any build out, correct?
No, that would be with quite a bit of work that was done by the planned bakery, that wouldn't be FF&E and equipment, but that would be 95% of your
Flooring, countertop,
electric. No.
piping.
So that I consider that like FF&E. So that would be like your, electrical build out, slab, underground plumbing,
No
plumbing
finish
rough
work.
in, no finish work. Yeah.
No
So
finish. All right.
depending on, you know, the user, that could be $15,000 to $100,000.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
That helps me.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table our sidewalk construction until things wash out down there. That would be bad. For future funding as necessary.
And we can always circle back. Assuming they're still building the sidewalks, I imagine a change order could be added if we have more information come July on the situation with the other lot. Or, we can look at putting it in when the art center is going in and, that makes more sense from a construction.
Could we maybe get
Schedule probably
Paul
anyway.
or someone to come in and just review with us the plans for the summer for all of the infrastructure?
Yeah, so right now the power lines, they're working on kind of all the utilities, and that's just been a whole deal with Excel and Mountain Parks. But that is supposed to be happening now. And then they'll start the sidewalks and streetscapes after that, and then we should have a mostly completed street and sidewalk streetscape. Again, that Alvarez property is kind of the one still in question by the end of the summer. So
Which property is the Alvarez property? If I can picture it in my head.
it's across the street from where this sidewalk would be going in, kind of that corner, northwest corner property on Clayton Court where the washing.
The
Oh.
JNL excavating property.
It's your favorite people to deal with, right? Can we get a clear motion on this?
Okay, a motion, go ahead.
We need a motion and a vote to do nothing.
Okay,
Because we're trying to keep it for the next.
Okay.
I think we're trying to keep the design correct.
Yeah, so you don't need to do anything, or you can make a motion to table it and we can relook at it.
All right, then let's not make a motion. Perfect. All right.
Table it for future.
Table.
yeah,
Table.
great, perfect.
Awesome. DCI in the game conference take. Tiffany.
Did you ever get that presentation?
No, sorry, I've sent.
Multiple times.
Okay, I was gonna say I've sent a couple emails. I haven't gotten it. I don't think I'm missing other emails from you, but.
I always like.
Oh,
send
really?
that
I'm like, is she
email.
hiding this part of the email? Yeah, sorry, I don't have it. So I don't know if you have it
Okay.
and want to pull it up
Sure.
or just talk through it.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, a minute to pull it up.
That's so strange because obviously.
You know, I'm like, I keep on sending it to you.
I get other emails from you. If there's something funky with the attachment that's keeping it from.
I wonder.
And Tiffany, you'll just want to use the Zoom link from the agenda to log into the meeting, and then you can share your screen. While she's pulling that up, I'll go ahead and pass out a document for the next agenda item.
Feels good internet.
Way longer than, but I probably.
Yeah. Well, like the internet is just still thinking. So yeah, the DCI conference was really, really awesome. It was in Grand Junction, just at the end of downtown, and this like definitely next year recommend other people to go for sure. I definitely want to go again. But it was very heavily concentrated on like hands-on experiences. So in the morning, there was like an hour of some talks, and then mid-morning you could stay at the conference and have some more talks, or actually go do some hands-on works shops. But basically the conference center was just downtown, so we were just walking around downtown visiting local businesses, um, and learning from those businesses. Hold on one second. Right. But yeah, super, super cool people.
Recording in progress.
I have a friend in Grand Junction, and she felt like their DVA had started to really drop the ball on organizing and supporting events. That was a couple of years ago. She used to do marketing at Grand Junction, so she has a critical eye. Crossed my mind at one point, keeping our DVA active in the future.
Yeah, their DDA has been around for a long time and they have a pretty significant budget compared to our little DDA.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
much growth.
All right. So yeah, they definitely, so we got like a lot of tours of downtown and everything. Their downtown is beautiful. If you guys have never spent any time
It's nice.
downtown Grand Junction, really awesome, but very huge in streetscapes and history and everything like that, but it is a very historical area. But I took a bunch of notes and learned a bunch. This isn't a very pretty presentation, but just some ideas that really stuck out to me. So Grand Junction does a lot with agriculture, but they also had one of their local agronomists come in and talk. So Colorado is top 3 in the nation for agro-tourism. And agriculture is really close to my heart, so I really, really like this talk. Just trying to engage local agriculture a little bit more into our community. I feel like Granby does it pretty well, just because there's just local farms that actually have local businesses and restaurants and everything that supply to those, but I'm not very familiar with how many local businesses in Fraser actually use local agriculture products. So trying to influence that a little bit more, especially with new restaurants coming in, or maybe us trying to find people that are more willing to use local agriculture or something like that. Eggs, meat, whatever. We don't really have greenhouses too much anymore. But yeah, that was really cool. One really cool thing that I thought that Grand Junction did, they have this annual barbecue, and they have stock trailers. I think they start somewhere in Mesa County. It's basically a whole county thing. They drive through all the downtown communities, like including downtown Grand Junction, with all these stock trailers, and it's like a big parade. And then they end somewhere, I think at the fairgrounds or something like that, and have a big barbecue. Just a thought, like I was just kind of thinking, because we're very into mountain biking and everything like that, but Grand County as a whole, our community is very ag driven, especially the western side. So trying to communicate and collaborate with the western side of the county, trying to do something like that, that would be a cool idea. Something for the future, but just a thought. There's also some discussion about public Wi-Fi. A lot of people didn't really go into it, but some communities have public Wi-Fi. So basically, I think basically in the downtown areas, the city provides public Wi-Fi that people can just attach to while they're in the parks and everything like that. A lot of these ideas that I put down are probably, way in the future, but something for us to just kind of think of, especially with our parks and everything. Some other fun things that people had a lot of success with, and this was a few different communities in Colorado, and they also had some speakers from, I think, Florida and New York to come in, but a dress up downtown bar crawl. And it was basically just, every Saturday night there's a new theme. Everyone dresses up, and they said some communities said that it actually engaged tourists a lot more because people would stop these crazy people on the sidewalk, be like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, it's a bar crawl, like you should come, and just influence a little bit more engagement with the public, like with the community. Um, Something for the community to look into, but also engaging the tourists and be like, oh, this place is pretty cool. Maybe we'll come back next month or something. And so thought of some other come up conference ideas. So there's this business lady. She owns Outgrow Your Garage, and basically her business is to go around and help with business education. And I talked to her, and she said she would love to come out and talk either for come up conference, something like that. She said she usually needs about 1 to 2 months in advance to schedule it, but really cool lady, very eccentric, very personal. She was actually at I don't know if you met her at the Grand County Tourism Board, I think, a couple of years ago. I remember you were there.
Yeah,
Can't remember who it was.
I
But
did.
Diane Butler and I have spoken with her.
Okay.
She's got cool online resources
Yeah,
to
yeah.
help. Very much meant to be like at your own pace
Yeah,
and kind
exactly.
of modular form.
So that was an idea, and then another consultant, this gentleman, I think he's from the Western Slope as well, but he basically does a bunch of consulting to empower youth, not necessarily people out of high school, but like middle schoolers and high schoolers, and just how to empower the youth into the community and everything. So I thought, not necessarily bringing him up for a come up conference, but just another idea or something. But another main idea of empowering youth in our community. Some communities, I know that before quite a few months ago, we were talking about like those little selfie stands and everything. They actually just hired high schoolers and middle schoolers to find the best selfies places.
Huh.
And because
Yeah.
like they're really good at selfies and like all that kind of stuff. So, and they said it was really, really successful. So they had like 4 groups of kids go out, try to figure out where the best selfie places are, and then they came together and collaborated and were like, yep, this place, and this place are the best. And then they put out their selfie stations in those areas, and it just really empowered the youth into that community, and so they were connected to it. Another thing that I thought of empowering our youth, most likely high schoolers, maybe some really cool middle schoolers or something. Maybe having like a guest student on our board, or just always asking them to come in for their input, or even having them on the come out conference, maybe like a senior or something like that, committee, just to, I don't know, empower them. Just another idea of helping those youth. I went to a little talk about this. So this is Open Rewards. It is an app. I think it's really cool. We can talk further about it. You guys can do your own research about it. But it's a reward app. So like when you go to the coffee shop, you buy 10 coffees and you get a free coffee or something like that. It's very similar to that, but this is when you spend money, you get a certain percent back to you. And it's an online platform, kind of confusing to understand. It's an online platform. Businesses don't have to do anything. They're not required to sign up. They're not required to pay anything. It's actually the town or the DDA, in this example for us, that actually funds the rewards. So anyone can get the app and you can connect your credit card to it. So whenever you use your credit card in the town of Fraser, it automatically goes into this app and tracks all of your points and everything like that. If you don't want to put your credit card information on it, you can take a picture of your receipt, or you can physically upload your receipt. And then after, you can kind of see on the image, there's like a rewards balance, and how, like in that picture, it says $20.50. So you can't necessarily go to the brewery and be like, hey, I have $20. Basically, what you just have to do is go to the brewery, get that receipt, or use your credit card, and then right after, you just say redeem your rewards. And if you are okay with it, you can connect your Venmo to it, or I think it's Venmo, PayPal, and Zello. And then it just puts the money right in your account. If you don't have any of those, it'll write you a check and send them to you. And typically, I think they said people receive the checks like within 4 to 5 business days. So good for anyone that doesn't really like all that technology stuff.
I would imagine at a point where it reaches a certain value,
Yeah,
you're like $20, $100.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, so pretty cool that way. I thought it was a really cool incentive. So like I said, the businesses don't do anything. The town or the DDA in our circumstance would fund it. So basically we would pay this app money, and I talked to the developers of the app and everything, and they said for community about our size, for about 5,000 people, they recommend starting out with $5,000 to $10,000. And so that goes into an account with this business. And then, so that one person that just redeemed $20, it would be taken off that $5,000. So basically, we are funding the reward programs for all of these businesses. And the goal is for people to come in, locals, tourists, things like that. They have like all of these rewards, and it works at every single business, not just one coffee shop, So going to the coffee shop and the brewery can spend hundreds, thousands of dollars in one weekend and then make money off of it. So it just kind of influences more purchasing. And so if, let's say, the year goes by and no one does any rewards, and our $5,000 is still in the account for this business, we can take it out, no charge or anything like that. We can be like, nope, we don't like this program. We're going to take all the money out. If $2,000 gets used and we have $3,000 back or left, we can take that $3,000 out, or we can just roll it over to the next year, which is kind of cool. And oh yeah, so the app, so like if we did do it, the DDA would have their own app for this program, and it has live stats and data, so we can see where people are going, where people are using it, how much, everything like that, which is pretty cool. So there's 2 communities in Colorado that already have this app. They've been using it for a few years, Englewood and Littleton. They actually used it. They got it to help influence traffic in their communities, because one, there was like a devastation or something, one of the towns, and they used it to encourage a lot more foot traffic, and it definitely helped. I think Littleton was going through a really, really big construction project. It's basically closing off a lot of the majority of the traffic. And they put this in and they saw an increase in traffic, like a lot of the local businesses did and everything. So that's pretty cool. Also, there are community members, front rangers that do know about the app, so that is kind of nice as well. So some Coloradoans do have familiarity with it. My thought was, because they were talking about engaging locals to come out as well. But ACE is in our DDA, and there's a lot of people that spend a lot of money at ACE. So if, you know, Fred with the construction company always goes in there and he's racking up all these points, then he can take his whole crew to the brewery and, you know, get some money back for that. Giving money to the brewery, getting everyone, like those locals that would not normally go out and spend money in Fraser, to spend money in Fraser because they're getting that reward. So that was just
So
kind of,
Tiffany, the money they get back though just goes back to them. They
Yep.
don't have to spend it locally.
nope.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, they have to associate that with, so they have to purchase something, and then basically you go on the app. So it was really cool, during this uh little conference. So they gave us $10 credit for us to like play around with the app. So you have to make a purchase with the app, and then ask you go to the app, you can kind of see instant payout on that picture there. So basically you hit that and it says, well, what purchase did you make? It either has information on there of your last purchase that you made because of your credit card use, or you just upload a picture of your receipt, and then it'll be like, okay, so you just spent in this community, how do you want us to pay you back? And then you just press Venmo or something like that. But it's super easy. I put my credit card in there. So I went to a little gift shop. I bought something, automatically connected it to it. And then, yeah, I just pressed pay me out and I got $10 in my Venmo.
And it would be any transaction in,
Yep, in the
Okay.
community. And then, yeah, basically we kind of like set the parameters of where that community sends
Okay.
up. So so you guys can QR code that and save it if you want. You can Google open rewards. The website is there, openrewards.com. They also, if we are interested, I do have the contacts of people at the business, and they said they are more than willing to hop on Zoom with us and give a presentation and get a lot more in depth on it before we make any serious decisions. But if people are a little bit more curious and
It's really interesting.
want to look into it a little bit more, but I thought it was a cool opportunity. We have to use our own money, but I don't know, it could be pretty good, especially with the Amtrak advertised somehow, or I don't know.
Yeah, one thought too, Tiffany, I've seen similar programs. Actually, Durango had one when I was there for the DCI conference a couple years back. That was similar, but they did it as a way to try to get people to shop local during the less busy shoulder season. So it was like for the month of April, or the month of October,
Yeah.
November, something like that.
Yeah.
And I think the way theirs was set up, if I remember correctly, was you could turn in your receipts, your spending, and then you got a gift card that had to be spent locally. So it kind of had you keep spending. So there's a couple
Yeah.
different versions that I think could
Cool.
be explored if the board wanted to look at that.
Nice, that's cool. Yeah, and this too, they like, you can go in, like I said, there's a live app that has data. You can go in and be like, this weekend is supposed to be really slow, like you get 50% more credit or something like that to like incentivize people to come. And then whoever has that app will get a little message being like, hey, Fraser's giving out free points.
is Safeway in the DDA?
Yes.
Mhm.
Would be paying a lot on Safeway.
Yeah, and so that, yeah, and that's another thing
That's what
too, like
Aldi's
with those
and
really,
parameters
really
would be better
big
for us.
businesses like Safeway and Ace, then that would be a question for us. 'Cause then people are just taking away that money and not really incentivizing like that, like kind of.
Geomark them out?
That's a good question.
Or like change the percentage.
Yeah,
You-
exactly.
We could just like do it for the small business area.
Mm.
You know, I think we could geomark. I'm pretty sure you can.
Do you guys want to bring this back to a subsequent GDA board meeting to explore further?
I do, I like the one that you brought up though, where it's more like gift card that you can. send.
Yeah, that is pretty
Um,
nice.
Yeah.
That would definitely be more of a reciprocal thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and this one, I think the idea is you encourage people to spend money locally, but then you've
Yeah.
got that double layer of,
Yeah,
uh,
giving it back.
Incentives and
That's a good idea.
rewards programs then.
Could this have anything to do with the Amtrak? We couldn't like use rewards for them. I feel like didn't we have a receipt process for people?
for the
Yeah.
Amtrak folks just had to show their train ticket and then they got like a promo at some of the different businesses that were participating.
Okay, so this wouldn't be useful for that.
Well, it would be useful if they had the app and then got off the train.
Right.
There could be a way to
Yeah,
link
yeah.
it.
It would
Yeah.
drive traffic into town.
Right.
Right.
And
Okay.
make it do a static display at the train station.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is
Download the
right
app,
now
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
with the,
Welcome to Fraser. Save money by downloading the app.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
That's how
Yeah. I mean,
And the ones
especially
that's
when you,
there,
I
exactly.
mean, have you, if I just think about how much my parents spend when they come for like a month, they would be like all over this. And I hate to like talk about your age, like certain ages, but once you're like over 70, you're kind of looking at those things like a game. You're like, oh, I made,
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like my mom would be really into it. It's kind of cool. So
What?
good work.
The question is, where in the budget would it fall? That would be in the next discussion, I think, because pull in 5 to 10,000 and then.
Right.
I would probably see it as it's titled community outreach, but I've kind of thought of it as community outreach / promotion. So it's been community things like the Come Up conference as well as the advertising pushes. So like the Ride Ski Save.
Yeah.
So whether it's something we look at for this year or if there's interest and we want to add more room for that into the budget for next year, that's a possibility too.
Yeah, I think it would be more of a next year thing, planning ahead for it.
Forgive
See
me, I
you
have to
after.
run. I have a client
Bye.
conference to get to, but
Okay.
see you all next time.
See you soon.
Okay.
Um,
Happy summer.
cool. What else?
You too.
That's
Is
it
that
for
it?
me.
Okay. So bring it back to a different discussion.
Oh yeah, the last thing was, this is I think this place is in Colorado.
Castle
But
Pines it
this is
is.
just what the town put up on their website of how to advertise. And then like it just how to participate in the program, and there's just step-by-step things. So something we can put up on our website, whatever program we get or whatever, but I just thought it was nice. And I just liked how they had a step-by-step process on there with pictures and everything to be like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we do.
I think excluding major franchises would be like a big deal with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, they have their own rewards programs. So
Right.
it's like Wendy's has their own rewards. They ship you stuff to your mailbox to like come in. We don't.
Yeah,
So however we could manipulate that, I think that would be
right.
best. Yeah.
Does the town have any connections with
Then they're coming.
any of those other towns that
Yeah,
have
would like to do
programs
that,
like
sure.
this? They could ask them.
We can always reach out.
Yeah.
We reach out to other communities all the time to ask some questions about stuff they're doing. So knowing which ones have it,
That'd be helpful.
try to figure it
Hi,
out.
Abby.
Wait,
How'd it go?
Yeah.
Hi, Abby.
Hi guys. I've got to go load the kids. But thank you. This was super productive.
Thanks,
Awesome. Have a
Abby.
good
Thank
one,
you,
Abby.
Hi guys.
And
Yeah.
we'll drop this off for Abby.
All right. Event sponsorship policy.
So we very briefly touched on previously the idea of having an event sponsorship policy. It's discussed in the DDA work plan. It kind of has come back with one of our Board of Trustees members when when the Winter Park Film Festival asked for money. His question was, why isn't the DDA sponsoring this? I know Sarah brought up the possibility of the GDA helping to fund kind of a giant ice sculpture for Fire and Ice. Sorry, I can't put thoughts together right now. And I will just say, I think there is something to be said, and I've talked with Sarah about this just at the town level as well. Like, it is a lot for the town or the DDA to put on its own events. But if there are people out there putting on good events that are bringing people to town or enhancing community or helping to kind of activate downtown, some of those things that we would like to see as part of the DDA plan of development, I think it's worth considering if that's a good use of DDA money to help support those efforts, without having to do all the work of putting on our own events necessarily. So this is meant to be just a draft. I apologize. I shamelessly used AI to help put this together. And I think it is what I was looking for, but in a longer version than what I was looking for. So just wanted to go through it quickly and get some kind of initial feedback and thoughts. And then if this is something that the DDA wants to move forward with, we can bring kind of a formal policy for approval at our next meeting and kind of an application process. But the idea is that it would be aligned with both the DDA plan of development as well as our kind of TIF investment strategy document that Troy helped put together. And really kind of focusing on sponsorships that do things like encourage residents and visitors to stop, stay, and spend in downtown Fraser, support locally owned businesses and economic development, foster arts, culture, creativity, and placemaking, enhance community connection and quality of life, reinforce Fraser's unique identity, character, and funky spirit. So that is all taken directly out of the plan of development. If you want to jump down to kind of eligible sponsorship activities. And once again, Greg, this is in that email I sent, if you want to be able to reference that. But it talks about different areas that we could consider sponsoring: arts and cultural events, live music or performance programming, community festivals, farmers market, promotional events, shop local campaigns, which would be something probably similar to what we were just talking about with the rewards program, seasonal or holiday events. I would actually add in, meant to have it in here, kind of, I think it is further down, kind of focusing on those shoulder seasons again, when we're maybe trying to bring in more foot traffic when it's not already just occurring because it's crazy busy anyways, on a popular weekend.
Add that to funding considerations.
Yeah. Looking at eligible events that either would occur within or directly benefit the DDA boundaries. I think that generally would be stuff taking place within the boundaries. But again, if it's just outside and it's bringing traffic into our downtown, I think that makes sense. Things that are open to the public that could be via, doesn't necessarily prohibit ticket sales, but versus kind of exclusive invite only type events that aren't open to the general public. Things that encourage visitation and economic activity downtown and that demonstrate community benefit. It walks through potential sponsorship priorities, including partnerships between kind of businesses and nonprofits, highlighting Fraser's unique identity and culture. A lot of this, I feel like, kind of covers what is up above there as well. In terms of some different funding considerations, would be thinking about event scale and anticipated attendance, economic impact, alignment with DDA goals. If you go down to potential sponsorship structure options, I'm sorry, I'm going through this quickly because I know we don't have much time, but if there's any questions. But considering things like, what level of match would we require? In most places, it could be that we are providing $1,000 towards a $50,000 budget, depending on the event, but looking for kind of that bare minimum, the same as we do with the business enhancement grants that the town has. you know, do you want to provide a sponsorship for something that benefits largely a single business because that's where the event is occurring? Or I would recommend maybe looking at things that are going to benefit multiple businesses so that there be some collaboration. But I will throw that out. There's some different kind of considerations. But if this is something that we want to pursue and just again, we don't have too much time. We've got about 10 minutes left in our meeting. But what the board would want to prioritize in terms of putting together kind of a formal policy. And again, this is something that could be started immediately or that we could look at including specific space in the budget for next year. But again, I would see it as part of that community outreach line item that's kind of community events and kind of community promotion.
I'd like the opportunity to take a look at it.
Yep.
And then bring it back.
Okay,
Give you more
perfect.
feedback.
Yep.
And in the meantime, since our budget's pretty little, if somebody did come forward, still would have to be approved by the town board, right? An expense, or is that all approved by us?
We have intentionally left our line items fairly broad to provide flexibility as opportunities arise during the year. You know, moving forward in the future, I would see the GDA maybe having a more structured budget come budget season for the next year.
Yeah.
But right now, again, I would see this within community outreach, and we have spent just over 5,000 in that area. And 10,000 was budgeted.
Yeah.
So as long as we are not amending this budget to a significant degree, we don't need board approval. We don't need Town of
Okay.
Fraser board approval.
And our Come Up series, that's also part of that community outreach. That's how we fund the
Yes.
coffee and the goodies, so.
Yes, and that is our own event. This would
Yeah.
be if somebody else, for example, wanted to do a come up conference series and was looking for some funding that they would be able to apply.
But it would be that
and the
same
board could
budget item.
consider it. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that this isn't a huge hurry.
Probably not.
I was kind of thinking the same
We're
thing.
thinking for this year, our Come Up series is gonna use up that next 5,000.
No.
No,
Yeah.
you know.
No,
much
gosh,
spent on it.
no.
We've
We
spent,
spend like 30 to 70 bucks.
That's it?
Like, yeah.
That's it?
it's been like, I
Everyone's
think
good.
the first one, well, I have it right here. One of them was like $75.
Okay,
The
not
other one was
significant.
like,
Oh, okay.
So the whole point of the Come Up conference was to have zero expenses pretty much.
Yeah.
The
awesome.
refreshments are like very little,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
yeah, one was $84 and
Great.
the other one was $76.
when I originally went to the mayor with this idea, he was saying, what kind of money do we need to bring up a big level consultant and bring them in? And this is a great idea. And I was like, that's good idea, but that's not going to drive our demographic in to listen.
Yeah.
So that's why we went with local stories. Your daughter was there last time. It's basically free. The Come Up conference is as close to free for an event as we can get.
Okay.
Yeah, most of that
And
money
it
was
drives traffic, which is
the
cool.
ads we had published. That was the vast majority of the $5,000.
So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was actually
Yes.
the production of the
Yeah.
ad. Yeah.
And I would
But-
think kind of like we talked similar with like the business enhancement grant, if there's stuff that the town board would like to
Yeah.
maybe get off their plate that we could focus on, that might be helpful.
Yeah. And I
There's
think,
other things that maybe we're not thinking of.
right. And I
Yeah.
think like with this, your biggest and most, I guess pertinent is application requirement. That's going to be when people come here, that's what we're going to want to have dialed. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily going to be all this other stuff in here. I mean, yeah, some of it, but a lot of times it's just going to fall in the outreach. So if it's under outreach, it's going to be requirements like, hey, how much money are you putting down? What's your estimated attendance? That's the sort of thing we're going to want to know, because if it's 10 people and they want, like if it was a Come Up conference series and I was coming here asking you for 2,500 for one of them, like I would be paying myself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the money wouldn't be getting spent. And that's something I just saw with enhancement grants in Granby is they had a lady come in and ask for more money for all these facade improvements. And she listed off like 100 facade improvements. And then in the same sentence was like, oh, and I didn't spend all the money last year that you gave me. And I was like instantly in the crowd, like, thumbs down, you are not eligible. Like you should not get any money if you went and paid yourself with that money and didn't use it. And they didn't hire specific contractors,
Huh.
like license, they use their family to do the work. And I was like, that is major problem. Like that wouldn't fly in Fraser.
Yeah, no.
So,
Well, and so I'll just say, yeah, there's bullet points that kind of speak to that. I think all of this is kind of informing like who is an eligible applicant. I will say in my mind, similar to the business enhancement grants, it's recognizing one, that sometimes it takes money to put this stuff on. The same that it takes money to improve your business. But if we see a community benefit to these
Mhm.
events, trying to incentivize people, businesses, entities to take this on, right? So if this is something that we do decide to establish and it is well advertised, it's out there, people know it, is
Yeah.
there, they can consider doing these things and requesting some funding.
Yeah,
towards it.
I just think we want to exclude things like if you're gonna pay a band to come into your shop and play.
I mean, that's the idea around it being something that would require
100%.
multiple businesses
Yeah.
to be participating and exactly.
Yeah, but I think that incentivizes businesses to do things. I mean, obviously, the events that Fraser does have are already funded by things, but having more things going on. Is
Well,
awesome.
Block
Yeah.
parties
Keep it
would be
up.
cool to see again. They haven't been in Fraser in a long time. Block parties would be cool, farmers markets would be cool. Those sort of things, like if someone wants to get in front of those, that's very useful,
Like Tiffany, your suggestion from the conference of doing a dress up
That's what I was
pub
thinking.
crawl, right? If the pubs themselves want to put that on, I don't know that they necessarily need money for that, but I mean,
I like-
but that's the type of thing
Advertising.
that they're moving around to different businesses. We're activating the community.
Yeah, we can do it for advertising.
We don't have to do the work. We just say, here's $500 or whatever it is, right?
That would be huge. That would be something that
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the first thing that
Yeah.
comes to mind is like
Yeah.
the fab
That'd be
markets.
super
that
cool.
does.
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
$500 for her.
That's what I immediately thought. I was like, that continues to get bigger and like
Is
she
one
could
of
do it
the-
all on her
Yeah.
own. That would be super easy, even if it was just used for advertising.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you Facebook ad
Jameson
for
Ranch,
that amount of money would go really far.
Our
Yep.
zoned ag.
Agreed.
Yeah, they are.
And then they're also doing the promotion for us for Fraser, right? In addition to the actual event or activation. Yep.
Cool. Do we want to discuss
it back?
this more or just?
So you have
put it
been
on?
emailed this as well. If you have any comments or feedback that you want to send me over the next couple of weeks, and then we can bring back something for the next meeting, if that makes sense.
Oh, I did have something random now that we're on the last open forum here. 2
Other
minutes.
updates?
There's been a lot of reported surons in the bike park.
What are
So
sur-
electric dirt bikes, which heavily like we either need way better signage there or something saying that you will be fined, but those are heavy. And that
Yes.
asphalt is not meant to take a 200-pound.
So code enforcement has been called previously. They are not allowed. We've added some
Yeah.
smaller kind of no motorized vehicles. The actual signage for the bike park is with Resort Bike Shop now being printed with the goal of having that up before that May 30th opening. So yes, we recognize it's a problem. They will tear that stuff up. I know other bike parks talk about getting the electric, or even just motorized dirt jumpers, dirt bikes, and things like that will also tear up the dirt as well as the asphalt.
It will. And I think just having something on there to deter them, because most of them are like 17, 18-year-old kids. They don't care about your sign that says no motorized vehicles. They need to be like, this is going to fine you $5,000.
So
even if you don't do it, that's what's going to deter a child.
So for enforcement, let's say for people that are there that see it, do we have a vehicle where they could take a photo of the violator and send it to the town?
Sure.
Or,
No, they'd call the police department and code enforcement would come out.
okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, Katie, something we could discuss with code enforcement is if it makes a difference if like the town board formally passes like an ordinance.
Yeah. Or something, and I don't know if
If
you're
that
allowed to
makes it
take
easier
pictures
for
of
code enforcement.
minors, but if it went to a link to code enforcement to say, okay, this is.
I think that if the best thing that you can do is put a sign out there that says you're gonna get fined. Your family will be fined, whatever, and even if you don't enforce the fine, just put a high number on it, because that's what's gonna deter somebody.
It's true.
If it's more than your dirt bike,
Well, and I feel like we'd need a board action to do that, like to,
it's probably worth it because that
Yeah.
costs you 1 point something million dollars to put in. And
Yeah.
they're gonna crack that asphalt.
We don't
Yeah.
want that to happen.
okay,
Nope.
yeah, we'll make a note to
Okay, thank you.
Sweet.
talk with the
Well,
board.
make motion.
Anybody
Adjourn.
else?
Second.
Second.
All right.
Oh,
All right. Cool.
Aye.
I